Okay, let's start that again, friends. We didn't get too far, but for those of you on the replay who are not on Facebook, we just started. And what I was saying is that I feel so validated in all of my teachings, in all of my thinking, in all of what I'm doing from spending this weekend with Dr. Joe Dispenza, because Dr. Joe, he is a neuroscientist. So he studies the brain, he studies the body, he studies the science of what's happening in our emotional being. So one of the most important things that Dr. Joe taught about this weekend is that our personality creates our reality, and our reality creates our personality. So in order to change and to manifest, and in order to live a life of your desires, you have to change who you are right now, right? You need to be a different personality in order to be in this elevated state to attract your desires. So in order to do that, we have to change. And so a lot of people, they don't want to change. And so as he's talking, I'm going back in hindsight to like my whole entire life, right? And so the reason why I was able to change is because I had somebody tell me that I was negative and I complained a lot. And in that moment in my life, I didn't know that, I didn't understand that. And so the big thing that Dr. Joe was harping on this weekend is you have to change by not complaining and stopping the blaming, right? Because most people, they spend their days complaining and blaming. And so I know this to be true because I actually have to fight to be positive every day. I go into negative thinking often. It's just a part of my makeup, a part of my human design. And so we need to catch ourselves, right? Because most of the time you don't even know that you're complaining because it's so normal to do so. So here's the other like light bulb moment for me this weekend. So Dr. Joe says that the minute we wake up in the morning, what do? Normally we grab for our phone, right? Or we start thinking about our day. So we spend our days in the familiar past or the predictable future. So you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I got to go take a shower. I got to go make my coffee. I got to take the kids to school. I got to do this for work. I got to do this, right? And so now you're in your predictable future and you're thinking about all of the things that need to be done, all of the things that you know, are going to happen for the day. And then you start going back to the past. And it's like, well, I'm mad at this person and how dare they do that to me? And can you believe that this happened yesterday? And the groceries that I bought are already bad, and right. And so we go to our familiar past. And so what are we missing? We're missing the now, right? We're missing the now, the today, the this moment, that, oh my God, I just woke up today. Thank you, God, I'm alive, right? We miss this important step of the day because we're reaching for the phone or we're starting to think about our day ahead. So training ourselves to not do that. And so the basis of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, for anybody that has never heard of him or is totally new to him, he's all about meditation, and it's all about being in the unknown, because the most information lives in the unknown. And so this makes all the teachings true for me, because Kabbalah always taught that we only live in 1% reality. So like, what does that mean? Like, especially when you're first learning that, like, what does that mean? This is only 1% of reality. Like, this isn't even real. Like 99% of reality is the unknown, the unseen. It's the energy. Like these physical bodies, like the stuff, this is all matter. It's three-dimensional. We live in the three-dimensional. But our life, our soul, our existence is really in a much different dimension. And by doing this work, by doing this gratitude work, by doing the activations, by doing the meditations, everything that we do here, we're tapping into these other dimensions. And when we tap into these other dimensions, then we're in the unknown. And when we're in the unknown, then the things can happen that we don't know about, right? So in manifestation, we always say you have to act as though. You have to feel the feelings as though, right? But how do you do that when you've never felt those feelings? Well, you tap into the emotion. Like, what is the emotion that comes, the elevated emotion, right? So, for instance, Dr. Joe was telling this story about how, which story do I want to tell you guys? Because he told so many stories. All right, let me tell you the vacation story. So he was telling us at his workshops, he tells you to write down something that you're manifesting, right? So this guy was a friend of his. He wasn't like a person coming to the workshop. A friend of his went to the workshop to go have lunch with him. And so Dr. Joe was doing this workshop and he's like, okay, I'm going to play along. So Dr. Joe said, take something that you're manifesting. And if you guys want to do this right now, you can take the word. So the guy was like, okay, I'm manifesting a vacation. He's like, I want a vacation. So Dr. Joe said, write the letter of what you're manifesting on a piece of paper. And then you're going to make two squiggly lines around it. And that's the energetic field, right? So guy wants to go on vacation. So he's creating this energetic field around the V for vacation. So now Dr. Joe says, tell me the details of the vacation. And the guy was like, well, I want it to be like really luxurious and I want it to be really amazing, but I don't want to pay for it. So that's what he wrote down. Then he wrote down that he wanted to go somewhere like that he's never been before, somewhere like Fiji or like an island like that. He wanted it to be 10 days and he wanted to go with like artists or musicians or something like that. So he made a list of the things, the intention behind the manifestation. Okay, so it was the intention behind the manifestation. And then Dr. Joe asked them to do the elevated emotion. Like, what would be the elevated emotion if these things came true, right? So everybody was like joy and fun and excitement. And so now he's like writing this other list, right? And so this guy is now feeling this, right? So we're in this huge crowd and he had us do this too. And you're feeling this energy and then he puts you into a meditation. And in the meditation, a lot of Dr. Joe's meditations are connecting the brain to the heart. And so, and I'll explain this to you after I tell the story. So the thing is over and they leave to go to lunch or dinner or whatever they do. And the phone rings and the guy answers the phone and Dr. Joe says they're walking. And all of a sudden he puts his hand on Dr. Joe and pushes him into the wall and they stop walking. And the guy's like jaw drops and he's like on the phone, like in awe. And he gets off the phone and he gets a call from his friend who won a trip for 4 to some island like Fiji. And he was inviting his friend who was an artist, his friend that was a musician, and this guy was like a billionaire or something, right? So it like checked off every single thing. And the only kicker that was different was that the trip was not 10 days, it was 9 days. So like literally in an instant, this was manifested, right? Because this guy was in this like joking energy, like I'm just going to play around, right? That's that let go energy. Like you think it, you feel it, you desire it, and then you let go, right? So now the brain is where we think our thoughts, right? So the brain thinks the thoughts, the body feels the feelings, and then the thought and the feeling become an emotion. And then when you take a bunch of emotions and you string them together, that becomes your attitude. And then eventually your attitude becomes your personality. So a lot of people in their personality, they're living in the past, right? Because you see somebody and it's like, oh, you're so happy. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm happy and this is what's happening, whatever. And then you see the people and you're like, oh my gosh, you look angry. And they're like, well, yeah, let me tell you about this thing that happened 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, right? And so they're constantly living in the past. How many people know somebody like this? Where anytime you have a conversation with them, like they're always in the past, maybe yourself, right? And so the problem is that if you're living in the past, then all you're doing is predicting your future to mirror your past. So it's so important to be in the now. So you guys, we're in the right place. We do this work. We show up every day. We focus our attention to the gratitude, right? Does anybody here wake up before 6:30? Should I start scheduling our post? You do? You wake up before 6:30? Maybe I'll start scheduling our post for like 5. Is that better? Would 5 a.m. be a better time? So if you do open up your phone, at least the first thing that you're going to is the post of the day that's focusing your attention on intention, right? That's what we're doing every morning. We're focusing our attention on intention. Instead of allowing the mind to wander, we're bringing it to the now because this is the sweet spot. The now is what's manifesting our future. So Dr. Joe spent a lot of time on the 95%, right? We've talked about this before, but I'm going to repeat it again. 95% of the time that we're operating in autopilot. So we're just on this repeat loop. And that's why we do the things that we do. That's why we can't stop eating. That's why we can't stop drinking. That's why we can't stop yelling, because we're addicted to the feeling. We're addicted to those feelings, the emotions, right? Because only 5% of the information actually lives in our brain. 95% of the information lives in our bodies. So Dr. Joe talked about the chakras, but he talked about them as energy centers, and I loved it. My husband turns to me and he says, I've never heard of this before. I was like, really? I only practice Reiki on you. So, when we're balancing the chakras, we're balancing the energy centers. Like that's what we're doing, right? But listen, Dr. Joe brings it in a scientific way. When I was talking to my husband about chakras, that didn't click for him. That was too woo for him. But Dr. Joe calls them energy centers. So the root, the solar plexus, and the navel. The one below the navel, the one above the navel. Okay. The bottom 3, that's where we store all of our information. So the kicker is to control, thank you, the sacral. The kicker is to control your body and to control your emotions, because what happens is that these 3 centers have memorized fear, have memorized, panic, have memorized PTSD. Like those feelings are trapped down here. And so when you think a thought, it goes right into the body. And if these 3 centers don't connect to the heart, then it goes straight back up. So we have the brain, and then there's the spinal fluid that travels down the spine that connects to the root, that connects to that perineum. So Dr. Joe taught us this breathing technique, which I'm going to do with you guys today. We're going to learn it here too. And let me check the comments but when you connect the base, and by the way, this is Kundalini, right? When you connect the base of your spine and you can create that energy to go up in Kundalini, that's when we're rising the Kundalini energy. But the way that Dr. Joe explains it is when you can awaken this energy center, you send this fluid up to your brain. And then your brain has this sack of crystals around it. and the crystals get activated, and that's when you're in the receptor of manifesting the things that you're desiring or not desiring, wherever your emotion lives stronger. So you see what the thing is that wherever you are in your day, if you activate these crystals, you're going to start pulling in wherever you are in that moment. So when you come in and you focus your attention to the breath work, to the silence, to the gratitude. The gratitude is an important piece. I was listening. I've been like obsessed since we got back, and I've been listening to everything on YouTube. And so I was listening to like the 5 words that you need, and gratitude was number 4. You know, it's like I hold this code of this gratitude work, but I never understood like why or how. Like I just knew that it did. And so like now I'm understanding the why and the how. And it's like this added layer of power, you know, like, holy, whoa. All I got to do is tune in. Because before I have to tell you that I've known about Dr. Joe for a long, long time. And I've tried to do his meditations and I couldn't. Like I would try and like I just like fell out of it. Like I just couldn't. And being there this weekend, he really connected a lot of the dots. And not only did he connect a lot of the dots, he made it okay for the mind to wander during the meditation. And it's like he just kept offering us things to bring it back. And so, like, that's the important part. It's like your mind is going to wander to the predictable future, right? Like, oh, what am I going to eat? What's for dinner? Where am I going? Like, I'm going to be late. Do I have time to be doing this? Right? Like, all of the chatter starts, but this is the most important work. It's the difference that separates like the 1%. Okay, so maybe dropping a Dr. Joe manifestation in once a week for us to listen to. I can definitely do that. I don't know if it'll be once a week, but whenever I find a good one, I'll drop it in. I did one yesterday that was amazing. It's 10 minutes. I'll drop it in. Actually, I wonder, maybe we could even do it together. Why not do it together? I wonder if I'd be able to stream that on Facebook. Maybe I'll shut off the Facebook Live and we can end with that together here, if you guys want. All right, let's see how we do on time. Okay. So what else do I want to tell you? Okay, so this important part about the thought, the feeling, and the emotion is that the heart is not a part of this whole process until we bring the heart into the process. So we have to focus our attention on the heart. And so a lot of Dr. Joe's meditations, you'll hear him concentrate on the heart, open the heart, you know, activate the heart, because the heart is where you produce the feeling. So when you're complaining and when you're bickering and when you're angry, you're not coming from a loving place. You're not filtering from the heart, right? You're filtering from the remembered emotion in the body. So the anger, the sadness, the fear, that's being stored down here. And these 3 energy centers are what are connecting to the spinal fluid in the brain. So if you're not bringing it through the heart, if you're not connecting to the heart center, if you're not practicing compassion, kindness, giving, right? All of this sounds familiar. But it's in that familiarity. We have to hear it again and again and again and again, because we have to program the mind. We have to program the mind. We are running on a program. And the truth is that the body is just holding the information, because the real information is the information in the unknown. So we got to keep connecting to the unknown in order to live a life that's unknown, right? So most people fear change, but in order to have everything you desire, you need to change. And so when I look at my life in hindsight, I changed. That's why I'm living this life right now. It took me a really long time though to figure this out. Like I knew it was working as it was working, but I didn't know why it was working. And obviously I fell back a lot because the complaining and the bickering and the blaming, that's just our program. It's a natural program. So we had to catch ourselves, the awareness, the awareness, the awareness, activating the heart, and then the breathing. All right, let's see what our friends on Facebook are doing. Anybody here with us? Do see comments, but I don't see comments. So let me pull you guys up on my phone.
There's a couple comments in the Facebook group. Or in
Yep,
the
I'm gonna
Facebook.
pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
I can't see it on the computer. Oh, Janine, you're here. Okay. Good morning, Jody. I'm up at 5:30, so 5 a.m. would be great. Okay, cool. I will schedule those because I usually write them at night before I go to bed, or I wake up in the middle of the night because I forgot to write it before I went to bed. So I'll start scheduling them earlier. I just want to say I've been manifesting my son coming back to me, and he texted me this morning saying HPD and he loves me. Oh, Janine, I'm so glad. Janine, was that what your question was about? Was it about your son? So that I can answer you a little bit easier. I'm going to go to Melissa's question. So if anybody on Zoom, if you guys have any questions about the information I just brought to you or anything that you didn't ask, you can ask it now. And then I'm going to go grab Melissa's question and then we'll see if we can get Janine's question answered. Cues here. Okay. So Melissa, I won't be able to make the call live. My question is, I'm raising my fees in my office in May. How do I do this with abundance and love in mind, not in lack and scarcity? I feel like I'm coming from love and abundance, but want to make sure I am doing things correctly. All right. So Melissa, I would work on this through your meditation or maybe do some Kundalini, like practice the prosperity, the HUD one, right? Like the 3 minutes of HUD, or you could do the full one, the Sobach Kriya. That's the 15-minute one that had the HUD in the 5 steps. And so I would practice that before you make the announcement so that you can bring up your own energy around it, right? Then in your manifestations and in your I ams, I would really work on your worth. I am worthy to receive. I am worthy to raise my fees. I am worthy to receive X amount of dollars per service. I am worthy to receive more than that. I am worthy to feel good about this money. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. And just whatever it is that you need to work around your worth, right? Because that's what's stopping you from making the price range. And then for your office, what I would do is I would give them at least a month's notice. And then in that month's notice, I would also create maybe some packages where you can get a big cash influx right now, like maybe a package of 5 or a package of 10 with the current rate that they can lock into so that they're locked in for a certain amount of time. I know, like, personally, I appreciate that, like, because I have the money to outlay for something like that. And I'd rather, because my makeup is lack and scarcity, right? Like that's how I've had to manage. So when there's a price range, price increase for me, I'm like, oh, right? Like I hate the price increase, but I also understand it from the abundance point of view, from raising prices that they deserve it and whatever. So then when there's like that transition period of like, okay, well, I could buy my next 5, 10, 15 treatments at this price, it kind of makes me feel better about that transition. So that's like something that you can think about. It helps you because you get this influx, right? No refunds on that. And so sometimes people buy them, don't use them. Hopefully we want people to buy them and use them. This way they keep coming. But that's a way that you could do it. But I would definitely work on doing some Kriyas because you've done that work. So you know it and understand it. For those of you that might be new to the group, a Kriya is Kundalini. And we've practiced it in the gratitude practices. I've also done some one-off things with Kundalini. And Kundalini is a yoga practice that includes mantras, mudras, and movement. So it's not a full yoga practice, but it's sometimes we use our arms, we hold them out, we move them around, we chant, and we're connecting our breath. And this is like, it's all like connected to what it's why the Kundalini works, because we're connecting our breath to our heart, to our mind, to the Kundalini energy in the bottom of our spine. And when we hold our root lock, which is that the Mula Bandha, it's called in yoga, which is the space between your vagina and your anus, or your penis and your anus, if Colton is watching. And it's, if you're controlling your urine or you're controlling your poop, you want to hold that in. Ladies, you might know that as a Kegel. And so when you hold that, then you pull the energy of your breath all the way up. So in Kundalini, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this energy that looks like a snake to rise. And so you start to feel this rising energy. But Dr. Joe, in his neuroscience way, all he's doing is trying to get the breath from that root lock to the navel, to the heart, to the perineum. And so we'll practice that together today. All right, Melissa, I hope that answers your question. Congratulations on raising your prices. This is an amazing step for you, and everybody will adjust. And what will happen is that the people who don't adjust, it's going to be okay, because you're going to attract new people who are going to come in at your new price, which are going to be elevated people for where you're at, right? You like what I know in my practice and doing this work is you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, I don't want to treat that anymore. Like I want the next level person. I want the person who's showing up like I'm showing up. I don't want the person I have to hold their hand the whole time. I want the person who is showing up, because then we're getting faster results and then everybody is so happy. So Janine, what do we do if we feel like someone has taken something you love from you and you can't forgive? Like if this person wasn't here, your life would be so much better. So that was kind of hard for me to answer because of that second part, but let me see. Janine, is it your birthday today? Is that what HPD was? Is that happy birthday? Happy birthday, if it is. Janine, I need to talk you through this. Can you jump on the Zoom? So let me go back to the first part of your question. If I can find it again. Here it is. Okay. What do we do if we feel like someone has taken something you love from you and you can't forgive? Okay. So this goes back to the compassion piece. Whatever the situation is, I don't need to know, because everybody's got some kind of situation where we feel like we can't forgive, right? Like there's somebody that has done something to us or has taken something from us that we feel rightfully so. So what I want you to do in this situation is I want you to take a look back at your life. And I want you to think about some of the worst things that you've ever done. Like the worst things you've ever said, those moments of revenge. We've all had them, right? Like, let's face it. I know I've done some really shitty things, and I know that I've said some really shitty things, and I've probably taken things from people that they didn't think I should take. And so whatever it is that you're feeling, these ill feelings that you're feeling towards this person, what I want you to do is take a look at yourself and now see if the situation was reversed. Would you want to be forgiven for that? Because I know that at this point in my life, I want to be forgiven for all the things that I've done. Whether I was right, whether I was wrong, whatever, doesn't matter. If I hurt somebody else in the process, which I did, I hurt a lot of people along the way. When I was a hurt person, I hurt a lot of people. And so at this point, I don't even remember a lot of that stuff, right? Like I'm telling you to do this exercise, go back and remember. Like I've blocked a lot of that stuff out. So there's a lot of people I come face to face with in this world right now, and they can like hate me. And I get it, because there was a time where I was that person that deserved that. But I'm not that person anymore. I'm changed. Very, very, very changed. I'm nobody. I'm not. You can't compare 20 years ago to now. You can't compare 15 years ago to now. You can't even compare 5 years ago to now. Oh my God, Katie, your boys are so cute. So we are changing, we're becoming better. We want that forgiveness. We want that love. We want that gratitude. We want to live these beautiful lives, right? And so we want that for these other people. But these other people, they don't have this. They don't have this support. They don't have this connection. They don't have this kind of arena, because most people in everyday life, they're competing against each other. They're fighting against each other. They're not loving each other. Like in this container, we love each other. We want to see each other win. Like when Katie wins, that shows Heather it's possible for Heather. When Heather wins, it shows Janelle it's possible for Janelle, right? When I win, it shows it's possible for all of us. It's because we've trained our minds to see the good. We see the good as evidence. Other people, they see the good and they just see the bad. I'll never have that. I'll never be able to feel that. She gets that and I don't. It's jealousy, it's lack, it's envy, it's hate, it's anger. So now you're activating your heart space. This is what's activating your heart space to now talk to your brain. Say, I don't need that. I don't need to harbor. I don't need to be mad at this person. I don't need to be sad about this situation, because I have so much love. I'm cultivating so much love. I'm cultivating so much gratitude. I'm creating this beautiful life where I'm able to live in duality, where my trailer breaks down on the side of the road, but I find gratitude because my husband's able to fix it. And it's so sexy to watch him do that. I know, Janine, you got a hot man there. Ben Lover changed a tire once in my 14 years, and I was really in shock most of the time. I didn't know he could do that, but it was really hot. It's like, wow, look at that. You saved me, right? So this is the important piece of the puzzle, this forgiveness piece. And Dr. Joe explained it. That's why, because you have to activate that heart space in order to manifest desires, right? So we have to be in love. And so in order to do that, we have to find forgiveness and compassion for no matter what. I know it's horrible, but part of it is our karma. Part of it are debts that we're repaying from past lifetimes and this lifetime. So, when you start to like look at it from a bird's eye view, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I'll tell you guys a story. I hired a housekeeper last week before we left. She started the weekend prior, and I loved her. And I thought she loved me. She walked around my house and smiled all day. Like we had this great banter going. Like I kept telling my husband how much I loved her. She was here until 9 o'clock the day before we left for Vegas. She told my mom she was coming back the next day. I'm like, let me pay you before I leave. Like, because I didn't want her to wait until Tuesday. And on Friday, I get like this cryptic message that's like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. You should find somebody you like. I know my worth because of the houses I own, or something like that. It was like, it was weird and it was cryptic. And so she was Mexican. There was definitely like a little bit of a language gap. So I thought it was a mistake. Like I thought she'd like sent it to me by accident, but she was sending it to somebody else. So I was like, yikes, was that for me? And there was no response. So then I'm like, is everything okay? And then my mom is like, where's your girl? Like 20 minutes later, like, where's your girl? So then I'm like, did she just quit? Like, and what does this mean? Right? Because I have no idea. So now I call her, she doesn't respond. I feel like I'm broken up with. Like, I feel like a psycho girlfriend. Like, what is happening? Like, why are you not calling? Tell me. It's you, not me, right? And so finally she writes me back and she's like, you should find someone you like. And I'm like, but I loved you. I didn't like you. Like, I loved you. I'm like, what happened? Like, was it the work? Did I say something? Was it the money? Nothing. Like, I don't know. Ben was floored. He's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I made a comment to her. Oh, you're working overtime. He's like, maybe she took that the wrong way. I'm like, whatever it was, it's like such a 360. Like, I wasn't expecting it at all. Right. And so then, to make matters worse, my sister-in-law had asked her if she could come clean her house. So I text my sister-in-law. I'm like, did Corral by any chance reach out to you? So at first she said no. And then a couple hours later, she's like, I just got a cryptic text from the housekeeper saying, and so she sent it to me and it was like, I can come clean your house on March 21st at this time. So then I write the housekeeper. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, you're going to not show up to my house. My 73-year-old mother is there. You told her you were coming. You didn't show up. And now you're going to go try to work in my sister-in-law's house. So then she writes me something like, I'm embarrassed, or I was embarrassed. I don't want to waste anybody's time. And I've spoken to God. And that was it. And then I was like, good luck to you. Right. It was over. And I took the situation and I'm like, what the actual fuck, right? Because now I'm questioning myself, questioning my intuition, like why, like how was I so off about this person? But then I'm like, but everything is about you, Shill. Not everything is about you. It wasn't about me. It was about her. This was a great opportunity for her. Had the money been an issue, she should have talked to me. Had whatever her issue was, she didn't communicate with me. She broke the chain. She cut this cord. I'm a good cord. I know that. I know my worth. I know what it's like to live here. I know what it's like to work here. This was a great opportunity for her. But she missed it. That was her loss, not my loss. Because I had the thought that night that she was here until 9 o'clock, as much as I loved her, I was like, she's not the one. I had the thought, she's not the one. And so guess what? That thought went out to the universe. The universe cleaned it up real fast for me. Didn't feel like the universe cleaned it up, right? Felt like I got fucked hard. The panic set in on what I was going to come home to. We probably own well over 50 towels in this house, and at least 35 to 40 live up here. I've never seen every towel in the house used. Every towel was used, and they washed some. They even went into the pool towel closet. Anyway, so when you start becoming the spiritual being, we climb levels. And when we climb levels, we repeat the same stories over and over again. And part of my stories is managing teams and staff. And so last week, I really was losing it. My book, you guys know, this book should have been out months ago. This book should have been out years ago, really. And everything just kept going wrong. And the back end stuff kept going wrong. And it was like, I was an amateur. It's like, I never released a book before. And finally I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I'm just going to publish it. I don't care. And then when I published it, the publisher didn't put the categories in. So there was no way to rank. There's no categories. You can't rank on Amazon. And so I was just like losing it last week. Nothing was working. All of the pages that we made, we switched systems. A lot of you have been contacted to change your payment information. So all of that, it's like, I got on with my mentor and I'm like, I feel like I'm starting over. Like, I feel like I'm on day one, and I'm like, I should. And so every time you hear this word should, this needs to be a throw it out and reframe. Because I'm like, I should be so much further ahead. And she was like, Shill, you are at phase 1, but you're at like level 25, right? You're not at level 1. So you repeat it over and over. You get in the elevator, you get off on your new level, and you go from room to room to room to room to room to room until you get back up on the elevator to go up. And so, of course, that's how it happened. First, I got sick. Then I felt the overwhelm, like this is whatever. I cried. Like one of my mentors was like, "Can you go cry or scream in a pillow?" She's like, "I feel you through the screen." And that added layer of like the COVID repeat right now that we're cycling through. And then Ben and I leave and I surrender. I'm like, it's okay. I don't need to be bestseller. I've already done bestseller. It means fucking nothing. It's just like a title, bestseller. Like nothing happens because you're a bestseller. I hate to break it to anybody that wants to be an author. It's just like a pretty tag that you get on your, And so we check into I didn't even check. I didn't even check the book all day because there was no way I was going to be a bestseller. And then I was like, let me just go order. I wanted to order a book, the paperback for myself. I'm like, let me see if that's available because it wasn't available at first. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm number 1. I'm bestseller. So when it's meant to be, it is. When we get out of our way, it's magic. And so all we could do is we have to keep repeating it. We have to keep hearing it over and over and over and over and over again until we start embodying it. So this is where we do it. We do it here. We do it together. We do it in these containers. So when you get that nudge, like, oh, I don't want to pay that monthly fee. Like, remember this, we get to show up, like this monthly fee is nothing in comparison to the monthly fees I'm paying to bring you this information, right? Like the investment that you're making in yourself is so important because this is around the time where people are starting to fall off, right? You see it in the daily gratitude. You see not as many people are showing up in the comments every day. And this is when your subconscious is going to start saying to you, hey, Shill, we've done this before. You're not going to follow through. You're not going to finish. Nah, right? It's like being in the play yard and like that little ego voice is like, you're not going to change ever. You're just going to stay fat forever. You're just going to stay stupid. You're not going to manifest anything. You're going to be broke, right? And that voice turns on and you need to turn it down. Be like, no way. And remember the stuff that you manifested and remember what this gratitude practice does for you. We can forgive without ever seeing that person again, especially if they aren't self-aware people to do it for you 100%, because they need to go through this process for themselves, right? And until they go through this process, they're never going to understand the work that we're doing. And so it's not even worth it. It's just not even worth your time and energy and attention, because that time and energy and attention can be focusing on the future. And the truth is, if you really want to mend some of these relationships in your meditation, in your breath work, in the time that you're doing this manifesting, you can see yourself mending the relationship. See yourself in community with this person. Ho'oponopono them. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. And then see the exchange. See yourself hugging. See the tears running down your face. Vision. It's in the vision. Dr. Joe talked a lot about that too this weekend. It's in the vision. You have to visualize it. You have to visualize it and you have to feel it, right? I always talk about feeling it. It's in that feeling in your heart. You're activating your heart space. When you activate your heart space, you activate your brain. You're telling your brain it's safe. It's safe. I'm not in survival anymore. Oh, that was the big thing. Most people are walking around in survival, right? We know this. We know what fight or flight feels like, right? So our brain is always in survival. And so it's always telling those energy centers to be in survival. So when you activate the heart says to the brain, I'm safe. I'm safe and I don't need to be activated. I'm safe and I can feel love and I can feel gratitude. And then the body chills out. So it's all about regulating the body system. Right? When I do the somatic stuff, for those of you that have been on retreat with me, like the stuff from Andy Love, that's all the somatic system. It's regulating our nervous system to be in our body. Because once you regulate your nervous system, you have the greatest wealth of all time. When you can have the biggest schmuck in the world in your face, cursing you out, and you could just look at them and say, I'm sending you love, and not respond, not react. That's when you've become a self-millionaire. It is going to be greater than any dollar or any physical thing can buy. And when you become that person, you're going to become the energetic match to all of the riches in the world, because you're going to be able to hold it all. Right? If you're an emotional wreck and you can't handle everyday things that are coming at you, you're not going to be able to handle $1 million. You're not going to be able to handle the love of your life. You're not going to be able to handle your dream home. Because with all of these big things come, there are big problems that come with them. And so you need your emotional stability and emotional intelligence to be able to hold on to those things. Otherwise, they go. Tips on helping someone redirect from negativity. My husband is doing great, but often has that reset to negative worry. So yeah, so it's reminding him you're worrying about the past, you're worrying about the predictable future. Let's bring it back to the now. Let's bring it back to the now. What do we desire? Where do we want to be? And bring him into a breath work, even like something simple, just closing your eyes, taking 3 deep breaths together, and then bring him into a vision. Where should we travel next in our RV? Where can you see us parking? Where can you see us exploring? Take him into a vision. Manifesting is about letting go of the how. It's not about the how. It's not about like, how am I going to pay for it? How am I going to get there? How am I going to do it? It's I trust that this is what I want to feel. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to be in this lifetime. I trust. Yeah. And if you can get him, does he meditate? Will he do any of this stuff with you? I would, I'll see if I can start finding some like informative Dr. Joe stuff. Maybe he'll connect to Dr. Joe to like the neuroscience, and if he listens to clips like that, then he'll do the meditations, and that will be super helpful. But it's bringing his awareness to it.
So it's so funny well, it's not funny. I didn't realize we were talking about Dr. Joe today. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know. And I
Yep.
rolled over and did a meditation this morning, and I picked a Dr. Joe meditation. And at the end, towards the end of the meditation, he was like, okay, and just like you said in your thing, like be in that emotion, right? And so then it clicked for me in the meditation. I was like, wait a minute. Yes, I'm showing gratitude, I'm showing up, but I'm not living in that emotion
Yeah.
of that, because that is now.
Right.
And it was so great hearing things multiple times and from you again today. So thank you. I would love any Joe information you want to drop in there.
Alignment.
A lot, absolute. It's all synchronicity. So he was in the bed while I listened to it. He was half in and out, but we have before my nephew, we every morning he would be a part of my meditation.
I love
And
that.
so he would lay in bed with me and we would meditate, and then he would go do the kids and I would do my breath work. And I just want to show you my journal. So I want to be physical with it. Like I have to write it down. That's just me. But thank you. I love this group and everything
You.
that you do here, and the money that we pay for you to do this and coach us is perfect for the budget. And I appreciate you so much for that, because
I appreciate that.
nah,
So when you do yours, just go in and throw a heart on the thread, so it shows others that you're doing it and it keeps it in community. Dr. Joe talked a lot about that too, being in that space of community, right? So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Dr. Joe, he was paralyzed from the neck down. He was in like a triathlon. He got paralyzed. They told him the only hope was to get like a metal bar put in his back. He didn't want to do it. He left the hospital and he said he was going to heal himself, and he did. And so when you go to these, we were only at a weekend progressive. When you go to a week-long retreat, they actually do like they meditate. There's a day that they meditate from like 4 a.m. until like 6 p.m. It's something so freaking crazy. But people literally get up out of wheelchairs. He's had 2 people that were blind that started seeing. The stories were like incredible. The one woman, she had 9 inches of her colon cut out, and so she could not live life away from a bathroom because she'd have to poop like every 10 to 15 minutes minimum, right? And so when she started doing this work, she couldn't even meditate without being on a toilet because it would like interrupt her meditation. And so the one time she made it through a meditation without having to poop, she had the hope. Like you have to have hope, right? You have to have that glimmer of hope. And that's why like it made sense. Like in my life, like I had a glimmer, right? We all have that glimmer of hope moment. And then the universe starts responding. So she went to a Dr. Joe event. She got up on stage and said 9 inches of my colon was cut out. After meditating, 5 inches grew back. And then she kept doing it. After 13 months, 10 inches grew back. She grew back more than what they removed. Is that crazy? He said people that get their thyroids removed grow back their thyroids. Like, and it's, and I have known so many women in the high coaching spaces that I've watched go to these things over and over and over again. And so it's real. It's real. This is real. All right, let's do the breath work together. Let's practice this. Let me just take a look. Facebook. Of course, I still don't see comments here. I will take a look over here. So Facebook, we're going to do the breath work. And then if you guys want to stay on, we could do the meditation together. I'll drop the meditation into Facebook for those of you that want to do it, but can't right now. I agree. This group is life changing. I appreciate it so much. Oh, thank you, Janine. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys are loving it. Update you, Facebook. I will, Janelle. I'll update my Facebook. Thank you for saying that. Okay, I think everybody's good. All right. So in this breath work, you want to sit up, and what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in. You're going to lock the root. So you're going to do a Kegel, hold that in, and you're going to lock it in your belly, and then you're going to exhale, and then you're going to inhale again. But this time you're going to allow it to go up to your heart and up your neck and into that pineal gland, which lives behind your third eye in your head, right? So let's try that again. You're going to lock the root, exhale, inhale, up to your stomach, lock it into your heart, pull your shoulders back and bring it up to your head. Lean your head back a little bit. Okay, let's try again. Inhale, lock, exhale, inhale. All the way up, shoulders back, head back. Exhale it down. Lock the root. Exhale. Inhale the root into your navel, into your heart, into your throat. Shoulders down, head back. And exhale. A little bit quicker. Hold the root. Exhale. Inhale. Shoulders down, head back. Again, lock. Exhale. Inhale. All the way up. Shoulders back. Head back. Exhale it out. Are you feeling like a little bit of a head rush? Can you feel the spinal fluid coming up? Isn't that cool? You can like actually feel that. All right. So I want you to try to practice that every day, that breathing. So Facebook, I love you guys. If you want to hop onto the Zoom. I lose, oh no. If you want to hop onto Zoom, hop on. We're going to do a 10-minute meditation. If not, I will drop it in here and you guys could do it on your own. I love you. Thanks for showing up today. We got rid of them. Now let's go here. It's not going to be the ones. Oh,
Alright, I want to show you exactly what
Oh,
it
no.
looks like else in the behind the scenes of using Thrive Card
oh no.
as your sales page
So
for
sorry.
a
I'll
retreat
find
or
her.
a program. This is often asked by my students, so I thought I would just put it.
Okay, sorry about that. That was my Thrive Cart instructions. All right, let's go to YouTube. Story. You guys hear that?
We are gods in the flesh.
Are you
We
able to
are
hear?
beings.
No.
Yes, we are.
You know what? I think I have to change the settings for you to, you know what? Let me do it on my phone. I'll play it on my phone. And then I'll have to figure out how to do that for us. Let's just make it easier like this. So this kind of starts, this must have been taken out of context, like it must have been cut. So it starts like in the meditation already, and then it cuts off a little bit abruptly, but it's so good.
So if you go to share, you
Uh-huh.
can share the audio on your computer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep, go to
hold on.
share.
Share.
And then you want to share the audio or something along those lines. I can't see because we're in the thing here, but
Okay,
somewhere a web
oh,
page.
share sound.
There you go, share sound.
Share sound.
And then it should work.
Oh, thank you. Oh, to share your computer audio, please install Zoom audio device. Please restart your audio sharing application. Oh, shit.
Or
Is
not.
this my Zoom password? Let's see. No. Okay, wait. Let's go to the password sheet and see if it's correct. Okay, that was the wrong password. Okay, let's say a prayer. Manifest it, manifest it. Oh, damn. Does it want my Zoom password or does it want like my Apple password?
Probably Apple if it's wanting access to something.
I don't know. That's not working. I need a password for something, but I don't know what. All right, let me just do it from my phone for time's sake.
We are.
Can you guys hear that? I'll start it over, but
We are gods in the flesh.
All right, this is what I'll do. I'll drop it in the group. And then everybody could do it on their own. And for the next time, we're gonna figure this out. Oh, wait, but this is here. I wonder. Huh. Are you guys seeing my screen right now or no? Oh, you are seeing my screen. I don't know where this is.
Drop the link in the chat. I might be able to help you out with this.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I can make
me a
you-
co-host, and I think I can share it.
Yes, you're so smart. So smart, Katie. Love that. Smart, techie people. And then, should I make you the host? Make.
Yeah, make host or co-host or something like that. Or if
Okay,
I-
make you host.
Oh, there we go. Okay, share documents, advanced, computer audio. I didn't even see my whole screen. Okay, let's try this.
Come on. We are divine beings.
Okay, so put that on pause.
We are gods in the
Okay, so you want to be sitting up for this, not laying down. You want to be sitting up, and if you can try to practice the breathing from holding your root lock to your brain, and then anytime your brain wanders and you catch yourself, just bring it back. Remind yourself, bring it back. Thank you, God. I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful I'm here. I'm grateful I'm aware. And then just do the meditation, okay? And then, Katie, you'll know when it's over. It'll cut off abruptly, and then it'll go into another one.
Something else, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So close your
Eyes
eyes,
closed.
get a comfortable seat.
Come on. We are divine beings. We are gods in the flesh. We are the creators of destiny. That's who we are. Now, can you become aware of the space between your eyes in space? And can you sense the volume of space between your eyes in space? And now, can you become aware of the space that your nostrils occupy in space? And can you sense the volume of space that the inside of your nose occupies in space. And now, can you become aware of the spaces between your ears in space? And can you sense the volume of space between your ears in spaces? And now, can you sense the energy of space around your ears in space? And can you feel the volume of space beyond your ears? In space. We're moving into the future. Now there's another potential for you to exist free from the chains of the old self. That potential exists right now. And I want you to teach your body emotionally what it would feel like so that it begins to believe it's in the actual experience of freedom. Now, go on, let go. Let your body feel freedom so that it thinks it's the experience. I want you to sit with body emotion to feel the joy of how you would feel, so the body begins to be in a future potential now motion. And there's a potential for you to have all your needs met and be wealthy And I want you to instruct your body to experience wealth, the joy of riches ahead of the actual event. So your body thinks it's in the experience. Open up those pathways down to your body so you feel it. If you feel it, your body thinks it's in the experience, doesn't know the difference. It's happening. Now there's a potential, the field, for a genius mind, quicksilver thoughts, insights that take you to new horizons. And the electricity that's created from an open mind. Teach your body emotionally the joy and inspiration, what that would feel like. So the body begins to experience your genius and think that it's in the event. Now, and there's a possibility existing simultaneously, fear of the vitality of a new life, rich opportunity, and awe for adventure, sense of believability, where you feel like you're in a dream. There's a potential or feel that all your prayers are answered. That possibility finds you. That its prayers are being answered now. Being inspired means to see a future without obstacles, to see a potential without sweating the details, to know that you're connected to a new reality. Lift yourself, memorize this feeling, possibility, deep in the expectation of the unknown.
Back into the space, into your body.
Begin.
When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Wasn't that so good? It's a good one.
Thank you. So
You're
good.
welcome. I'll drop that in the group for everybody too, if you want to do it again on your own. I love you guys. This was awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll give you a date for April. I'll see you guys on the internet. Bye.